The Economic Policy Uncertainty Index is a measure of policy uncertainty, so how uncertain people are about what the government is going to do in the US going forward. So are they uncertain about taxes, about spending, about healthcare regulation? And to measure this, we use a combination of how frequently the newspapers, so papers like the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, discuss economic policy uncertainty. We also look at the amount of tax code about to expire. And finally, we look at how much disagreement there is amongst economic forecasters about future taxes and spending. And when you combine these three measures into one index, you get our Economic Policy Uncertainty Index. The key thing this shows is a huge increase in policy uncertainty since 2008. So before then, it was bouncing up and down, occasional spikes from wars and elections. And then suddenly, since 2008, whoom, it's gone up massively, and it's now incredibly high for the last 4 years. The level really from 2008 onwards is about as high as the height at 2001 after the 9/11 terrorist attack. So that was an era of incredible uncertainty. Who did the terrorist attacks? Remembering that Bin Laden didn't initially own up to them, the anthrax, the war in Afghanistan, etc. Huge uncertainty lasting for 2-3 months. That dropped back down again. Now what we've seen is similar levels staying that way for 4 years because of things like the debt ceiling dispute, TARP, healthcare regulation. So really a new high level that's about as high as we've ever seen before. Why is policy uncertainty so high right now? I think you have to go back a bit in time to understand it. So the story is the US has been slowly running a deficit. It's really spending more than it's earned. That was disguised in the mid-2000s because we had a booming economy and very high tax take. It's kind of like you're spending more money than you can afford, but you've had bonuses for the last 4 years, and it's disguised the fact you're running a deficit. Suddenly the boom's gone away, and it's become painfully clear we're spending far too much money compared to what we're raising in taxes. So what that's done is forced attention onto how can we A, cut spending, and B, put up taxes. Now, the political parties don't agree on how to do it. The Republicans primarily want to cut expenditure, and the Democrats primarily want to put up taxes. And they don't agree, and they really don't agree. They have really very polarized opposite opinions, and as they fight between taxes up versus spending down, it generates tremendous uncertainty in the economy. Why does policy uncertainty matter? Policy uncertainty generates a slowdown, and the reason is businesses tend to wait on making expensive hiring and investment decisions when they're uncertain. So if I'm running, let's say, a sandwich shop in Palo Alto around, in California, I'm thinking of opening up a second branch because I'm making money, but I'm very uncertain. I may wait. I may wait to see what happens to policy next year before I make my decision. Now, of course, if everybody waits to hire and invest, you have a recession. How long will policy uncertainty go on for? How long are we going to see incredible levels of policy uncertainty? My view is this is going to last for some time, and the reason is the big driver is the fact that the deficit is in such a mess. We spend so much more than we earn, and that's driven by huge spending on healthcare. So if you look at where America's spending is going up and up and up, it's on healthcare expenditure, and I don't see that changing very radically. So unless we get healthcare under control, we're going to keep running deficits and keep having crises every few years.